But yeah, that was kind of like the number one thing I was gonna say, and the relic requirements being attached to the best rewards is, I don't think the relic requirements are going to be there at all. Should be there at all, but I don't think they're going to get rid of them. So
Just
for like
opening
sake
up
of comparison.
other ways to
Damn.
get maybe similar or equal or more rewards like that, besides just having
Gear.
relic 5 Sith, that would be so much more fun. Be so much
Now,
more.
just for comparison's sake, I have very recently finished up the farming and gearing and everything for Jedi Luke, and that's like a bunch of characters at Relic 3, and you're getting one of the most powerful characters in the fucking game. Compare that to gearing everybody up to Relic 3 to get a slap in the face, a single Omega, and like 2 Chirotechs, and like, hey, have fun, buddy.
Take your 100 crystals as well. Cheers.
And then even just to assault battles. I mean, the first tier of the assault battles, you can do it with gear 12 people. We were saying this earlier today on Fourth Stream. You can do it with gear 12s, and you get rewards to bring those gear 12 people up to relic levels. So it's really worth it to have some gear 12 droids and whatever to make it through this thing for the tier 1, so you can get all those rewards. It just doesn't feel worth it.
How it's just not a motivation to relic to gear up those characters just for that.
Well, I was saying
Even
like
if you
two
did,
things,
yeah.
like comparison to the assault battles, where like tier 1 of the like challenge tier 1, most of the time you can do them with gear 12 characters, and the rewards that you get are valuable for bringing them to gear 13. That feels worth it to like maybe invest something towards, so you can be constantly getting those rewards. Also, compared to the Jedi Luke event, which I just finished up farming for a little while ago, where you need to get a bunch of characters up to Relic 3, but you get, one of the strongest characters in the game at this point, as opposed to a slap in the face, an Omega, and a couple Chirotechs.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. And I would even like double up on that and say that for me, and I think this goes for a lot of the community that that it's in their viewing channels with us all day, is that like the undersized character unlocks, the undergeared character unlocks are some of the most fun moments in this game.
Oh, yes.
Like pretty like what you did with the with C3PO the other day at Gear 9s.
That's gonna bring that up.
And like pretty much for me, like all of Arnold's early, legendary unlocks. Like that's some of like the most memorable
Luke
stuff.
Unlock. Oh my god.
Commander, yeah, so
Still
much
haven't
fun.
done that
so
one
much
yet.
fun. And to be able to do that by getting the characters that you need for it, but by basically just knowing mods well enough and studying the game well enough that you could do this and not waste gear on on a gear 12 in an Ewok or something. I mean, that's huge, and it's so much fun. And like replaying it, we talk about it being super annoying, and Infinite, you're gonna fucking have it struggle, and it's gonna be 5 hours, and it's gonna be multiple days, But honestly, like as many times as it
how
took
long
me,
it's gonna take.
but like the amount of times it took me, like I was never like bored before I got C3PO. I was frustrated, but man, I tried, and it like took over my account for like a week trying to get that thing done, and that was fun. I mean, as annoying as it was fun. And I don't know, this right now, the way it's set up doesn't have a lot of fun in it, but I'm holding out like my final opinion
just requirements
before they fix it. Yeah, the requirement thing is, whenever
I
they
mean,
started doing that, it started getting weird, So
like this said, it's gonna be a whole process.
Improve over the next, at very least, 3-4 months, if not longer. Like, they've also done like a pretty good business move if you think about it. They know that we're all gonna hate it, even if they throw us stun guns and everything. Like, they can guarantee it's gonna get shit on. They bring out the bad rewards and everything to begin with, and then they look amazing when they up that to Mark 5 stun guns and whatever that we need.
True.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I'm not like jumping down their throats, but I think they've kind of opened this up to say, what do you think? And this is the most constructive way to let them know. I think this is a good idea, Infinitum, really, because it keeps it off of like the the 100-person channels of everybody dog shitting on it and getting on CG again, and it just it asks some people that play the game a lot what they think about it, and we were all looking forward to this, and I think that's why it's so much of a letdown. But they have a lot of opportunity to fix it here.
It was literally a road ahead.
Yeah. It was. So it was literally the entire road ahead. Yeah.
So the expectations we had for it were like, okay, there's a lot of people that actually were leaning months before this road ahead drop on what would actually happen to the game. What are we gonna get? New stuff. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a new game mode? Is it going to be more meta characters? And now we know it's a game mode, but it's not a game mode. It's something inside events, right? And,
it's another event, yeah.
And that's a bit of where it goes.
Part of the... But like also, if you really look at the development of that and strip away just a tiny bit of the flowery language, they've given us exactly on the dot what they said they were going to give us. But a lot of people are making out that they've promised us 1,000,001 things and completely undid it, which isn't the case at all. Like, this is probably the first time they've delivered 100% on what they have said.
Yeah, well, I would say they did. I would say they did, except for the relic requirements in the final 2 tiers are not really giving us what they said, and relieving the gear crunch is not what they're doing, but I think they can still do that. So I think you're right.
Yeah, there's time for that.
A couple of the things they haven't opened up yet. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I see they haven't shown us 100% of what we asked for, because I think that's one of the catches here is from a CG perspective, they see this as this huge project, all this series of various different galactic challenges that they're going to release over time, and they see the whole event as a whole. And then they want us to evaluate, and they've given us this one little piece that looks just like a standard assault battle. Well, it doesn't look like a standard assault battle, but it's like it. And so it's very underwhelming. We don't see the big picture. We just see a small slice of it. So it's extremely underwhelming. And I don't know.
They seem like they're looking for community feedback.
And I mean, I'm definitely looking for community feedback. But I think part of the reason it's being accepted the way it is people are expecting a lot more. They thought there would be a lot more, and there actually most likely is a lot more, but we just haven't seen it yet with the way they're showing it to us.
This is literally test season. They did say that.
They're giving you like one faction versus another faction with environmental factors around it. How are they going to give us every single faction, every matchup, every environmental factor on something that changes?
Right.
Like every few days or whatever. They can't roll out the entire thing. It is literally impossible.
I mean, I'm not trying to complain or anything. I'm just trying to say it's a perception that a lot of people are having.
Yeah, it's not just Sith.
I have seen it fly around a few times of, they said we'd be using our whole roster, but we're only using Sith here, and there's one person in particular I know who's been very vocal about how there's no ships involved at all, and it's like, no ships involved. Yeah, there's nothing to say that there won't be a fleet.
Yeah, no,
exactly. Right. That's why I'm saying we're only seeing a small slice of what their plan is.
Even said that there wouldn't be one. Like, I think that's been left pretty open. And like they're saying that this is what's replaced the Death Star raid. The Death Star raid was gone out the goddamn window well before Galactic Challenges became a concept.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that being like, we were meant to get a Death Star raid and we got this. It's like, no. The Death Star raid got thrown out for Galactic Legends and everything else that was coming out around then. And they expressly said they are not doing a Death Star.
Exactly, but people still want to say that their Death Star raid is going to be a thing. They said nope, and it's no.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Rook, and I actually agree. They still have 100% of the opportunity to come good on their promise. I think when they said it's going to have all this replayability, and I haven't seen a single content creator touch this since 3 hours after the event launched. Nobody's played it. I was done. I was done that night, and I know everybody else was too. That part scares me, and I feel like they should have known they were going to get that reaction by unloading something that would take an hour and a half for the community to digest. And the relic requirement thing scares me. But other than that, they've given us everything they said they're going to give us, and I feel like there's more, and we gotta wait.
I did see one person doing it, I think earlier today, just because I forgot who it was, but somebody who was streaming kept fucking up the all Sith thing by using HK, because she thought that because he was Sith Empire, he would count as Sith, and she thought that the feats are broken. So that's the only time that I've actually seen somebody playing it.
I can't laugh too hard. I fell down that rabbit hole myself. Damn it!
It's a very easy mistake to make.
Yeah, because it's always around Sith.
You and Mr. Joe straighten me out on stream.
It's a very easy mistake to make.
I feel like I talked over you there at the end there, Rook, if you want to continue. Sorry about that.
Well, I was just saying, like, it specifically says Sith, but like, I'm the kind of person where, like, if it says, like, Sith or Sith Empire, then it's probably going to be an entire team of specifically Sith.
Yeah.
Like, I take things for very...
It made total sense once I realized that HK wasn't Sith.
Yeah,
that's the stick.
I mean, it's just one of those things I never think about. It's always a squad I always use. I didn't think about it for whatever reason, and it's okay. Let's do this, and wasn't working the way I thought it should, and I was first angry because I thought that the gear levels were maximum gear levels for the stage, not minimum, and because to me, maximum gear levels made this a challenge. But if they're minimum gear levels, well, what's stopping me? And that's what I showed on my stream this afternoon, just before the end of GAC. Well, it's right after GAC, but I said, here's why I'm not really talking about this, you guys. Watch. And I went in and I just hit go on tier 1. Done.
Auto.
And I said, okay, now let me take Sith Empire Trooper off that. Okay. Boom. Done. Okay. See, there we've fulfilled all of those. Next tier. Put Sith and Trooper back. Done. Okay. Take him back out. Done. Okay. Next tier. That's how it went. I'm like, see how fun this is? Yeah.
That's so much fun.
And I says, it does get harder. We got down. I'm like, okay, I can't really auto it here. Hold on. Okay. But I says, it doesn't really matter because I don't have actually 5 Sith that are Relic 3 at this point. I only have 3 that are Relic 7. And I'm not in a hurry to bring the others up to Relic 3 just for this event because I have other things slated for those resources right now.
But touching on the fun aspect, but we were bringing it up earlier. It's about for example, if we're just not strained to one faction, we could use multiple team compositions to go over and get different rewards for different team compositions. That should be a lot of fun, even if it's just faction locked, right? That would be interesting.
Or you could. They could specify the gear that they're giving you too for certain. Like if you're in tier 6 and you use rebels and like there's a specific gear piece that's like very heavy in the rebel gear up, okay, then that's guns? Your prize pool. Then that's your prize pool. Honestly, I think if they get it replayable, where you can get rewards more than one time, more than 2 or 3 times on a single tier, that would fix pretty much all of it. But as of now, I had more fun and got exponentially better rewards, knocking Ewoks down with my Empire yesterday. So, I think it's going to be good. And I've seen a lot of people, some of you and the content creators that we watch all day talk about how this is a pretty clever workaround to their content creating issues for the future, and that that they're excited about it. And so I'm hopeful. Really, honestly, I'm not jumping down their throat about it. Like I said, I just my first impressions are that it's like, dang, I wish I could keep doing it. I wish I could turn my game on right now and
bashing it on it.
Right.
And one thing that was also interesting is when we were looking at the data mine, there was that weird currency that we hadn't seen before. So I'm curious if, so currently we're in the test season, what if Season 1 is no longer inside events, Galactic Challenges becomes itself, it becomes a thing, and gets itself a place in the store. It actually gives away character shards or gear pieces that we actually need to buy as well, a bit like the GAC store. What do you guys think of that?
Did the GAC? I don't remember. Did the GAC store exist at the beginning of Grand Arena, or did they add it when it turned into Grand Arena Championships? I honestly don't remember.
I don't know.
Pretty sure it got added in just after it became the Grand Arena Championships, because at first we had the tournament things that they launched, and then every other person was cheating, and so they just axed that, and then I think the Grand Arena currency came in just after.
Okay, I forgot the exact timing of that, but it sounds right.
What would you guys like to see here? New characters, old characters that are difficult to farm in hard nodes that you probably won't get, like Nihilus, for example, is locked behind that 9A hard node that you probably will never want to do. And as in, like, I don't know, new player, right? But for example, instead of having to farm Nihilus, you could get it from, for example, that shard store, or that not shard store, but from Galactic Challenges store. Is that what kind of things you'd like to see? Would you like to see new marquee characters go right into it? Would you like to see the feats have the new characters instead? What do you think they should do with that kind of things?
Well, that's kind of similar again to the whole assault battle thing.
Characters and a new store, like not the final characters like Grandmaster Yoda and that, obviously, but like some of the better Jedi shards in the store, some of like the Old Republic tune, and the like characters you need to unlock the better characters.
And just again to compare it to the assault battles, I mean the Empire versus Ewoks event that's going on. You get a bunch of Ewok shards, and if you're trying to farm up your Ewoks so that you can get unlock the 3PO or whatever, it's definitely helpful to get a an extra 10, 15 whatever shards of certain characters.
Yeah, I would like to not see another currency in another store, but if they did, I think the gear crunch would be probably the one I'd want to see more. I would like to see more gear accessible, but why can't there's so many currencies and there's so many like guild specific walls with the negotiator, Malik, Gas, Malevolence, that what if they opened up some of the feats to get you some more of those tokens every once in a while? I mean,
some more like get one, get two currency, which
I'm sure
not a
lot.
But I'm sure that's something that a lot of newer players would love as well, because they, again, going back to the Jedi Luke, they required Wampa and Hermit Yoda, which are huge GT1 crunches for that.
So as a newer player, for example, I'm never going to... Yeah, exactly. For example, I'm never going to go for Jedi Luke in the near future because I'd probably spend that currency now on Gas, maybe later on Malik, over Hermit Yoda and Wampa, unfortunately. Sorry, Rook.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
They could do. They could even like make that like one of those special missions in Hoth or GOTB, where like if everybody uses Phoenix, and that you have 50 out of 50, then you get 12. You get 12 get tokens for every member of your guild that finishes that Galactic Challenge. You would get tokens for that. So like then it's like a full guild. Hey guys, do your Galactic Challenges. Like it's more rewards for the whole. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it, but it seems like there's a lot of opportunities for them to like hide in small little tokens like that we can only get in those other situations. That could be cool.
Could even do it with say 10 get for tier 1, 20 get just get one for tier 2, and then when it reaches like what is it, tier 5, when it hits the relics and like actually gets difficult in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Once they get there, swap it over to get 2. Like still not giving 1,000 or whatever, obviously, but like say maybe 50 get 2, and you can complete the last 3 tiers twice each. that gives you, it's only 300 get, but that's going to build up over the course of, say, 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But they'd probably
be
lower
huge.
only, like, say, 20 get to, and then make it replayable for the rewards once or twice every day. That'd build you up to, only about 300 or so for the entire week, but that's still 300 more in a week.
Yeah,
instead
it's
of waiting for TB to come around and hope you'll get like a few hundred.
And like with the comparison to a TB, when your whole guild does it and everything, you're not getting 50, 100, whatever per person. You may be getting 8 or 10 per person, but even at 10 per person, if everybody does it, that's still 500, which is pretty damn good.
Exactly.
I'll be right back, guys.
I'll bet they'd even be able to work something in to track like the amount of people in the guild who do it, and then have like a multiplier or something per se. So, like, say if only 3 people in the guild do the Galactic Challenges for the week, then it's just the however many they get, everyone else gets nothing if they didn't do it, so on. But say if all 50 people, or like 40 plus to account for guilds that are a little bit short, do the Galactic Challenges, then they all get like their normal 200 or 300 for the week, but then chuck in an extra 100 or 200. That's motivation right there.
Yeah, it's all about maximizing gains. Yeah.
And they already have the system in place to do that.
They do. Yeah.
I mean, think about like the whole daily challenges thing, which you're working on for the guild, whether it's completing PvP attempts or light side battles or whatever.
Cantina.
So I mean, they already have a system in place to do that.
Like they
so
probably
that would be...
have to tweak it a little bit, but same, like it's achievable as long as they can work through the coding, which I think is going to be one of the biggest points of trouble right now. Like they've stated many times that their code's pretty much fucked, basically, because it's had a whole heap of different people working on it in their own style, doing their own thing, and erasing or moving around other people's work. So now, like, the entire coding's very sensitive. Like one wrong
I believe
thing
you mean spaghetti.
You mean how like we get a ton of sim tickets that we don't actually use for anything?
It's definitely Unity influenced.
I'm in a battle, so I can't see it right now, but like that, giving us 7 sim tickets for the thing. I mean, I know somebody at level who hasn't unlocked ships yet is gonna, need sim tickets and whatnot, because you don't start really accumulating them until you unlock ships and can get those rewards every day. I have over 100,000 of those saved up. I'm never going to use them.
Feels bad.
Well, I've got a couple that's only at like level 75-ish, and I've already got a good couple thousand of them that I can't use up even if I try.
Yeah.
Actually,
no, usually
that you're talking about
the first month or so, you have trouble with that, and then you're through it, and then you're past it forever.
Yep.
As soon as you unlock ships, you're good.
And the interesting thing is the Galactic Challenges are unlocked at the same level you unlock ships.
That's hilarious.
Funny. That is hilarious.
They're both unlocked at level 60.
It's like I sitting there, Wolf saying that, and I'm like, how many do I have? Oh, I only have 153,000.
Yeah, I think I'm at like 125 or something like that,
you guys
somewhere
are
around there.
Being smacked. What if we could?
I haven't thought about those or looked back in a long damn time. That's my big account, 150. How many does this guy have? Got me wondering now. God, my smallest account has 135 fucking K.
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, come on.
Apparently.
It's literally not possible to run out of them as soon as you unlock ships.
Yeah. You can't
spend that's the lowest number of them I have. Okay, you know what? I'm going to start out my real baby account that I actually retired. I'm curious.
Oh my God.
Just forgotten about is the what do you call it? Ally points currency. Like we can buy like what, one thing from the store a day with it.
Yeah, it's like
Like, at the
25,000 of
moment,
them for 5 pieces.
Of Carbantes.
Yeah. Got 5 Mark III ability materials for 25k. Like before that, there was 5 stun cuff pieces for 25k as well. I think. Like, give us something to actually do with that currency.
I wasted all on bronziums all day long. It's really good actually for the shard shop currency. I've got Royal Guards and Snow Troopers with a lot of shards just because of that guy, and even Amagan dies.
I've
sometimes.
gotten a lot of shard shop currency just from farming the bronziums, but it takes so fucking long.
Longevity for the game, what Galactic Challenges will do for the future of the game. That's interesting, right? Because a lot of people were dependent on this to be good, or otherwise they'd leave. I haven't seen many people quit over Galactic Challenges yet, I think.
Not yet.
No,
I definitely think it needs some more time.
You know of some, Rook?
I know like 2 guilds that have had a handful of people just quit and be like, "Yep, I'm done with the game." One guild I know lost 5 members.
Damn.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's very underwhelming, the part that we've seen so far.
Well.
Yeah, I think I've been around some of those Discord servers and guilds where they were kind of just looking for a reason, you know? So I could see where this is just kind of like, it's just more of like a straw on the camel's back more than it is like a huge problem for them. I mean, I could see that. Yeah, it's the tipping point. Yeah, it was already a long time ago, like the gas event, the Malik stuff, you know, Galactic Legends, like they already made up their mind maybe then, and they've gotten this far, waiting this far into the year to get this. I could see where they'd be upset, but
I mean, like
I'm kind of like
about
in a more mid game, so I'm not as disappointed, you know.
Right. I mean, like we were talking about Urs, and you know, anybody who's watched him knows it definitely looks like he's been falling out of love with the game for quite a while now, and he's talked about quitting and not quitting, and
never playing again from, at the very least, the beginning of this year. But I was under the impression he had already left Star Wars like almost 6 months ago, because he was talking about it then and saying he was going to be quitting, never playing again because he was done with it. And then next thing I hear is he's quitting again.
But I do believe that he also got really hard into quitting because some of these people that he liked the most were also quitting the game, and he just felt, okay, everybody's just leaving that I really care about. I do know that some people that are watching definitely play the game, but he also had it because the people he cared about the most, right? So sometimes you just go into this game because of the community, right? And
like, to be quite honest, one of the biggest reasons I play the game and that is the community. Like, I quite enjoy the game. I like it more or less how it is. Like, yeah, there's a lot that could be done better, but really at the end of the day, it's the community that keeps me playing, and like my guild and alliance.
Oh yeah,
that's the primary reason I'm still playing. If I wasn't guild leader and liking my guild and stuff like that and how it's working, I would have probably dropped it by now.
Well, I mean, Urs seems to have done it smartly. Like he said a lot, like in the last 2 months. You guys would follow me to another game, right? So he's kind of like been prepping his community and like,
yeah,
for this and wanting. I think he wanted to do it sooner, but he didn't have partner yet. Now he does, and so I think he feels a little bit more secure making the jump to completely say, no, I'm not playing this anymore, because even if he loses 30 viewers a stream in the beginning, he's still got partner, and he's kind of more entrenched into building his community, not focused on just this one game. And it sucks that it had to take him deleting the game from his you know, stream, basically. Well, I don't even know if he's just not playing or if he's just not streaming it, but that's unfortunate. But yeah,
I mean, over the last few months, I've definitely seen him. What? Sorry, Rook.
Oh, I think he's quit like fully out. but I haven't really followed him much. I've only stopped him for a couple of streams and just sort of got uncomfortable with how many people were talking all the time.
He's playing the Old Republic now.
Yeah. Streams and that, but yeah, like
it can get it. The bigger streams can get a bit much.
Like with you guys and like Heinzie and that, it's generally like what, maybe 10 people who are actually doing the talking.
Right.
And then there's a whole heap of people that just silently watch, sort of thing. Whereas like moving over to Urz's or Cub's stream, there's 100 people commenting a second.
Yeah. It's just message.
It's impossible to keep up with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd type in a question and I'd sit there and wonder if somebody responded and have to scroll back. Did somebody respond? Huh?
Nope.
Yeah, not usually.
Yeah, well, I mean, typing into a chat to like get a question or like the content creator to answer is kind of unique to smaller streams, and maybe even unique to Galaxy of Heroes. Is you know, like most streamers that are on Twitch that are any sort of successful, there's no capacity for them to do that. I mean, there's some that try really hard, that do a pretty good job of it, but I don't know how they would be able, like even if he wanted to touch on every single person commenting, he wouldn't even be streaming. And I've seen it where they try, and it's 10 minutes of just looking at chat. It's not entertaining to watch after a while.
Yeah.
And so I get why it is, but I also understand about wanting to chat with others and finding streams specifically for that. So I understand that too, Rook. But yeah, it's got to be tough. You want to get big enough to where like this could be, a creator would want to get big enough to where this could be like their main gig. But then once you do get big enough, it's no choice but to kind of, not be able to get back to all the people that are supporting you. It's a weird trade-off.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
I find myself doing that if I'm on chat with somebody else that's streaming. I try to help keep up with the chat for them.
I try and do that on Forts all the time.
Yeah, you've done for me as well,
like,
Wolf.
All right, he's paying the fuck attention to his game. Let me see what's going on with chat.
Yeah,
Fort can get intense with his concentration. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And until I found you guys, honestly, like the thing that always surprised me is that like Arnold, Cubs, and really, besides GAC, like they're not really playing the game on their stream. Like I always thought it was weird that like Arnold would be like, you don't want to see me mod. It's like, well, maybe I don't want to see you like leveling up your mod inventory, but like going through an hour of you modding a team and explaining why you're doing it that way would be awesome. It would be awesome. Yeah. And finally, you guys, I would say in the last like 3 months or something, started playing the game and streaming it and like playing the parts of the game that I play, and
I think the same thing.
Watching a GAC is very entertaining, but I think there's other stuff that creators can stream in this game that would be knowledgeable, that would be filled with a lot of info for the viewers that those three weren't really covering because of the thought that maybe this is too boring. And it's like, well, I would love to see some of the stuff.
Urz's intros are so much fun, and all the videos, and he puts on a fucking show and somehow stalls an entire Grand Arena into like 2.5 hours of content just because he's bullshitting so much and playing all those videos. And sometimes that's what I want to watch, and sometimes I want to just sit there and go theory crafting with Fisk and figure out what the hell to use to take down Supreme Leader Kylo.
That's a great example. There's one guy who's never once complained about having content to stream in Galaxy of Heroes. Not once. Right? I mean, I get it. He's got 3 Kraken accounts, but
4.
Right, but like even if he only had the one, this guy's still going to be on for 8 hours. You know what I mean? He's not going to be on for 12 maybe, but he's still going to be on for 8. And so that whole there's nothing to stream, there's nothing to watch in this game, man, I fight that. I don't think that's true, and I think you guys have shown that. Infinitum, you'll end a stream with Scribble or something like that, but like for the most part, it's an open dialogue from when you turn on your stream to the end about your roster, the viewers' roster, the TB you might be in, your arena climb every day, your fleet arena climb every day, and yeah, maybe if somebody was tuned in for every single part of that every single day, every time you streamed, that would get stale. But that's just not the case, you know. Like even myself and Rook and Wolf, like we'll tune into you for, you know, for the first part of the morning. But if somebody else pops on, I'll jump over for a little bit and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So like everything's fresh in my opinion. And
yes, that's the way to do it. As long as you're having fun, I think that's ultimately the content creator's goal. I mean, Zeppers is also here. I think that you think exactly the same way.
No, I don't sit on one person's stream for the entire thing at any point.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't do that myself.
Move around.
Right.
Which is why I have so when something really interesting is happening, then I sit on the one stream for ages and use the other to move around every 10-15 minutes.
Like the C3PO thing, to keep bringing it up, was a super cool moment. Like that was fun. It was fun to be in the chat. It was fun talking to you about it the day prior. It was fun. It was fun, like thinking, "Oh, dude, this guy's in for a world of pain," and then watching you just like prove us all wrong in 20 minutes. Like, you know, I don't want to call that like some groundbreaking moment in the world of Galaxy of Heroes, but like it was cool, man. Like that was super cool. Like, I was excited for you. Like I was pumped, and like look, all those people that watched you now have the benefit of knowing that this is doable at Gear 9.
Yeah.
And
I've referenced that a couple times. People talk about 3PO event. I'm like, yo, Infinum did it with straight Gear 9 and 1 Zeta. Get on his level, man.
Blessing the RNG gods that hard is difficult, I think. You said it yourself, Bill. You tried so hard to do the 3P event. You kept going at it for weeks. And I think you do know that dumb face reaction I had while I was doing I think it's that on YouTube. I was like, what the fuck? I was supposed to be here for hours. What is this?
Dude, I told you when you had your first turn, I typed in chat, this is good.
This
is a really good run. Take your time. And you took like 2 more turns. I'm like, this is gonna work, and I can't fucking believe it. I'm like, I'm supposed to be working right now, and like I'm ignoring my calls because I need to see this happen. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is already working.
Like 3 times. It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
The dodges were huge. Yeah, no, the dodges were really big. Yeah.
But that was Logray too. I actually watched that back. Logray did put a bunch of foresight, and Hans just kept tapping on the foresight, and I was like, thank God this guy just likes foresight like a fucking magnet.
Great. That was great.
It was good. Now I'm sure some of those were just the 2%, right? The 2% is pretty good. Dodge chance.
Yeah, it was that kind of stuff is really cool, and I hope to bring it full circle maybe a little bit, because I gotta head out here in a second, but I hope that they can recreate some of that with the Galactic Challenges, because I think Rook's right. They did deliver on everything they said they were going to give us, but maybe our expectations were so high because of how long we waited. And you know, I think they have a really good opportunity to do something like that, to make those feelings and those moments available for a bigger player base besides people who have, you know, Relic 5 Sith.
You know, you're absolutely right in that sense, because, for example, Galactic Legends are also those static requirements. You get these relics, and only then you can start farming tickets. Only when you get the character can you start farming the ultimate mats, right? So, if they do the Galactic Challenges and they give you this grind, because the new metas, like General Luke, he's also required the Relic 3s and whatnot. If they do require this stuff where you can try Wonder Gear, use this Gear 11 and use this relic, and this guy balances for the other one, that will give that sense of, you know, like the unlocks, but the sense only for minor rewards, but it's the fun things that were in the unlocks.
Exactly. I'm okay with like the power requirements they do, like gas, and Malik. You know, you have to have everybody at 17.5 or higher. Like that's tolerable. And a good amount to be honest, you're gonna need better than that anyway. Yeah.
Because people would just people would just go in and like whatever, do their magic whatever bullshit and increase their character stats and whatnot. So they added the, you know, power levels and relic levels and everything as hard requirements to try and fight back against cheaters to unlock characters.
Interesting.
So I know that did play into it.
That would explain why it's that way in the WAT mission too. It's like, why would they give you a minimum if it's gonna fucking be harder than that anyway? Like, just let us play the event, even if we suck at it. I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Huh.
Yeah, from what I've heard, that was a big part of the reasoning for having the specific gear and level, power, whatever requirements for things.
Very interesting though, but it still is not as fun as going in with G9 Ewoks.
Oh yeah, that is so fucking hilarious to watch that thing.
I gotta watch
that
it.
That was such
now.
an enjoyable stream.
And the good part about it as well, it's those 20 minutes. It's just like, okay, first it's the beginning, and then actually the good run was popping in really early, so it just keeps you watching at that part at least, which is good. I did save all of that on Twitch, the whole unlock Wicked to 7 stars, which was also the first attempt to get him to the last shard. When it actually took me 21 attempts or the last shard on B1.
I would like fully buy into the. I'm fully bought into the fact that you modded the crap out of those tunes. I mean, I stopped you accidentally from trying it again, and you nearly started doing it again the next try after you unlocked them already. So like,
yeah, that was right.
I don't think it was that lucky. I think you really did plan for it well, and I thought it was crazy when it happened, but it worked.
Sarek?
Oh, I was talking to one of the kids.
But yeah, I did, like, for example, a lot of my thought goes...
Rook!
Mini Rook! Mini Rook wants to say hello?
Not a Mini Rook. We have a Mini Rook, but he's not here.
But one of those things that I really had into consideration was I couldn't slice these mods because I'd lose them for the 3PO event. And I think that also played a role because, you know, 6E mods can't go on Gear 9 characters. 5A mods can. And, you know, I kept those good 20 speed mods available for myself. And that may have made a difference as well.
I think so. I mean, just the way you started off that second run after you'd already done the unlocks successfully.
I read stop and I just...
Please don't do... I said, please don't do this again right in front of my face. And you actually stopped, which I feel bad about because I was kidding. But yeah, it was it was impressive. It was super cool.
Now we'll never know. It's Schrodinger's cat. I both did it and didn't do it.
You did. That's true. Schrodinger's cat. God damn it, you keep bringing that up.
Memes, man. Inside jokes.
Rook, I don't get the chance to talk to you on voice very often. It's a pleasure, man. Thanks for joining us and being so cool to the community all the time.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you, Rook. Thank you always for being there as well. But all of you, really, we're always seeing each other around. It's awesome.
I feel like we have a lot of, like, not tooting my own horn. I just think like this group and a few others have a lot to do with like the success and feeling around the community right now. I think that, you know, us going in there and being like funny and having a good time and showing love to pretty much anybody that is, you know, decent and positive about this game is like catching on.
It spreads around.
Wasn't like this. Like the first person I followed, a Galaxy Hero streamer on Twitch, was like March 2019, so over a year and a half, like about a year and a half ago, and it was Enod 81. Yeah, I like my sub is like at like a year and a half now. So, and that he was like the only option for a while. Cubs still really hadn't made the full switch. Arnold never really did. was still on YouTube. I mean, it was him and maybe a couple other people here and there with like 4 or 5 viewers. So this is like this is kind of a new thing, and it's cool. And I think like we're a big part of it. And especially with the Masta situation, trying to put that to rest as soon as possible and make sure that doesn't come into our community. A lot of the people on this call right now had a lot to do with outing that situation and putting that to rest. And I think it's cool. It makes me feel good to be like logging in every day and like know you guys got everybody's back, and I got the same, and it's fun. It's been really fun.
Yeah, and it also unites
sure.
us much more as well, doesn't
Well
it?
said.
Yeah, well said, Bo.
Is the replayability. I think you make them replayable like they said they would, and fun replayable, then that takes care of the rewards, in my opinion, because it automatically takes care of, like, yeah. And you can get the rewards twice. It really doesn't matter how crappy they are. If I can play something 2 or 3 times every 2 days or 1 day,
eventually
or
get
3
an
days,
advantage over other people as well.
Then we got some. Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Like, finally on the right track, and I really do think that the community as a whole needs to give them just even a couple more months so they can work out any last tweaks, get the feedback, and see what they do with the feedback before we decide on the Galactic Challenges for good.
Give CG a chance.
I kind of realized at one point that we're just seeing a part of it, and a lot of people, they played it up to be huge, and everybody was looking for something huge, and it may be huge. We're just seeing a piece of it, so we need to be a little more patient, see what happens. They also said that they're looking for feedback, so
yeah, and this is the whole idea
of
this
else they
video.
have available for it. So
this is the whole idea of this video. It's to give constructive feedback so they know exactly where they need to look for when in this regard, because we're players at completely different kinds of levels. Bo has almost a 3 million GP roster, I believe. Wolf has got now to Division 1, and Kyber for the first time, which is really nice. Zeppers with the GL, and I'm not really close to any of you. Rook also has
my opponent.
Relic 7 1
3.2, right?
Yeah, 3.2 and yeah. Go. Sorry.
Yeah, I just think we should give CG a bit more time, because they're actually on the right path for once. Like, look what they've done over the last couple of months. It's more than what they've done for the last 12. Like,
oh yeah,
we've done a tiny bit of communication. Sweet fuck all, really, but we've had some starting to come through. They brought out 3 new characters. Well, 2 new characters. The third one's just about out.
Yep, Admiral Pete.
Then there's supposedly this new currency, which I'm pretty sure if you read the data mine thing, says it's a possibility, not a definite. Like, it's an idea in the data mine. It's not a this is going to happen like what Chewie and that was. Like, I think it was mostly just pictures and like a rough sort of area thing that they found, along with like all the signs of the factions, most of which we don't even have in the game anyway. Like the signs and that, we don't see most of them anyway. So I think a lot of people have like looked at a couple of the flowery words from the developer posts, and then just listen to streamers and other people hype up the Galactic Challenges, making it out to be a huge thing of using every faction basically at once and having all these sorts of amazing things connected with it, when really most of that's what people have just assumed will happen.
Definitely to an extent, for sure.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I think part of it falls on CG, because they pushed it off so much and built, kept pushing it off. And we're working on something big, and we're working on this and working on that. And some of it was us building it up, and some of it was them building it up.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely feel like
have to take into account as well that really, like, just that sandstorm effect thing. That's a lot of work to have that instigated into the game.
It
if
is,
they've
actually.
got like say 100 different effects like set ready to go, 100 different effects for just environmental, say 100 for both yourself and animals as well, that's 300 things taking heaps of man hours. That is something huge. Like, it could be
right,
we've got a huge thing, but because it's not all in one big thing where we can pick all our environmental factors, or it shuffles up every time you enter it, which would actually be really cool. But anyway.
Yeah, that would be amazing, actually. Because I do have one big issue with the Sandstorm in particular, is that Padme, when she has protection up, the whole team is immune to debuffs and they still get dots.
They're not immune. They resist.
Resist?
But that can't be resisted.
Can't be resisted? Oh, okay. That makes a difference. Thank you.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's like,
it still sucks.
It still sucks.
It says it can't be avoided or something, but it can be resisted.
Yeah, because I did think it was immune, to be honest, because they have the whole immune to stun that is more powerful than they can't be resisted.
Crits.
Yeah, immune to crits.
They're immune to crits when they have protection up. They're immune to crits and they resist all debuffs. But if something is unresistible, then they're fucked. Although with the Padme lineup, it almost sort of helps a little bit to have all those extra debuffs.
It actually does.
So like when Padme takes them off of everybody, it translates into more protection up.
And then a more
so you can one-shot people.
Yep, that was actually the other part of it. Kind of had that issue with the dots, but you know, actually helps one-shot GG, one-shot the other guy. Yeah. That's actually useful.
And you know, if they could be resisted, then the tenacity slider is up so fucking high on the enemies, they would never get debuffed.
Right. So teams that actually care about
I was actually having a conversation about that sort of thing with someone a couple of weeks ago, talking about like how the slider works essentially and the percentages and all that sort of thing. It's quite an interesting lot of science because there's really the lowest the percentage can go for like to inflict a debuff is 15%. That is the absolute minimum chance you have.
Mm-hmm.
However, when there's tenacity up or something, it goes from being like, say, a 4-sided dice of yes, no, resisted, dodged. It goes to 100, a 100-sided dice where 98 of the options are resisted and one of them's dodged and the last one's this isn't happening.
That's really interesting.
But still that 15%. It's just that it will never land on the 15%.
Right.
You know, actually, I have this weird theory. So whenever I'm using the First Order in the STB, usually around phase 3, phase 4, since I don't know if either gears shouldn't affect this, but for example, if you apply tenacity down with crew, and then you use your Kylo to try to use a stun, because like the OG Kylo, right? Even if he's full health, he should inflict the stun, and he never does. It's like 50% chance to get the stun on a tenacity down. It's either really unlucky, but more often than not, it's probably not, because it happens way too often in my experience. Even with tenacity down, that's what I found.
There's like the percentage for like the debuff to happen, but then there's another percentage of that percentage to be what happens. Good business / commercial move and give us the dodgy rewards and a version of it that's not actually like fully what they're given us, but then they look 100 times better when they go, you guys want some better rewards? You want a couple other things like this and this? Well, yeah, no worries. We'll get right on that. And then bam, it's released a couple weeks later.
And everybody's way happier. Yeah. Morale's bigger and it's good long term.
Whereas imagine if they brought it out even better, like what people were straight off the bat. I think it still would have been received the exact way it is now, but complaints about some other tiny part about it.
Yep. There's always something to complain about something new.
Smartest way they possibly can. Which feels weird for me to say about CG, that they're actually doing something, well, possibly doing something really well here.
Right?
Like, I don't like playing devil's advocate for them, but like, I can see a lot of potential and a lot of good reasons as to why and how they're doing things how they are, and why the challenges aren't like as good as what people thought they were going. Like for me, as I said, we've been given exactly what they promised us. Like, yeah, a couple of extra catches, like the real shitty gear and having the good stuff blocked behind a paywall base.
Yeah.
But, like, can anyone here honestly say they did not expect the best rewards to be locked behind some sort of paywall?
Yeah, definitely not.
Any of you honestly tell me you are expecting the best stuff from the best tiers to not be behind Relic?
Yeah, at this point in the game...
I mean, personally, I was expecting like the 1-star one to be the best. I mean, I want to use my crappiest characters and get like a full stun gun. Come on, let's be real here.
And sadly, that's pretty close to what I've been hearing around the community.
Jesus Christ, you can't demand for that much. I mean,
unfortunately.
I mean, you can, but that breaks balance as well.
Level 1, Gear 1 couple, something at stun guns, but like people are complaining about not getting like full stun guns and eyeballs and all the rest of it.